I definitely want a big part of my legacy. Like when people talk about me as a basketball player, I hope the first word out of people's mouths is that I'm a winner. A big part of picking my pack was honoring what we're calling the old school, which is really like my generation, so I don't know how I feel about calling it old, but honoring those that I firsthand got to see their greatness. So I either played with these players, played against them for many years. So that was my way of honoring what is the old school. And then of course you want to talk about what is this new school, this new generation of player, because a lot has changed in the world of women's basketball, and you can see it in the talent level, you can see it in the skill level. So it's really cool to kind of honor the past and what was, but also what allowed for the future to kind of take that baton. But now they're running with it and they're creating their own way. It's a tough question, it's a tough question. I'm always gonna say my generation. I feel like that's fair, right? We're all generationally biased. I'm no different. So I'm gonna say old school. For me, it was like, oh, like here's this player that I look alike and look what she's doing. I didn't grow up with a WNBA. So what I grew up knowing was get a scholarship, hopefully you play like on a good enough team. So like for me, that was it. Like that's what achieving like the highest goal was in women's basketball. So like I said, now I pull up to this game and I see somebody who's doing it who looks like me. And so for me, that was, I mean, a quite literal see it, be it moment. And we kind of had a moment where I got to share that with her, so it was really cool. It was great because I think I'm in a place now where my career is ending, and really ever since I've announced my retirement, I don't know, I realized that there's some closure there for me, but it's also really nice to engage with, you know, whether it's other players, fans, whatever the case may be, where they get to share their highlights or their moments that are memorable for them about me. So it's pretty cool that I've experienced both sides of that. And that's why it was kind of important that she knew that. I might compare Diana to Ryan more than I would Arike. Arike is more like, and a lot of people have said this, it's more like Cappie Pondexter vibes. But what I see in Ryan is similar to D, is a guard that can shoot, right? Can literally fill it up from anywhere, can get their shot off anytime because of their size. I feel like my generation has given this new generation something to like strive for. That's really how I would put it. More than anything to do with like ball handling or shooting or X's and O's. It's not necessarily about that. It's about we have now set a bar that they're surely gonna come and raise to another level. When Syl was in Minnesota and the year that she won MVP, that was the most like efficient I've ever seen a post player play. As a competitor, it was tough because you knew every single game you played against her, she was probably gonna at some point be like this pivotal player, take over, or do something. That whole, so it's not just like one moment, it was like that whole MVP year was, I think, for Syl, looking back on it, like has to be one of her highlights. If you're talking about greatest centers of all time and you don't have SYLVIA FOWLES in the conversation, like, come on, you're just being silly. She's 100% in that conversation. The cold Mamba. Man, I think what makes Jewell unique is her ability to create space from her defender. She's become like an efficient three-point shooter. She always had like a good handle. She's always had like a pull-up jump shot. She's always been that type of player, right? And believe me, those things, what she does, she excels at. She's elite at all the things. But like what sets her apart, like the one thing I think that sets her apart is her ability with the ball to create space from her defender and get her shot off. They won the championship against Chicago. I don't remember the year, and she hits a three-point play that kind of like seals the game, and she kind of did like a bomb, 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 just like, that mother, Yeah, so that's probably, I think that's one of her more iconic moves. She had like a killer fadeaway. Her move was her fadeaway on the block. And there was really no blocking her. Like very rarely did Lauren get blocked. So that was her signature. I've known that since the day they were both drafted. You know, Jewell got here in 2015, Stewie came the next year. As the veteran player, very quickly I realized like, these are the two that are gonna take this franchise to like even higher heights. And I remember even by like year 3 and 4, it was like, this is actually your team now. Like, yeah, I'm still here and I'm kind of like the mama bear, you know, making sure everything's functioning, but it's actually their team. They're the ones that make this team go. When people talk about me as a basketball player, I want to be known as a winner. Just somebody that everywhere she went, somehow the team was successful. And I want to be known as a big part of that and a reason, because that was always what I put first. Like, I didn't care about the stats. I didn't care about the shots. I didn't care about the assists. I just didn't care about any of that. I understood that if you put winning first, all those other things would come. Literally, period.